Hello, hello, and welcome again to another Core Brands podcast episode. This episode, um, it took me a while to decide if I wanted to talk about it in the podcast or not. But people have been asking me to share more about it, and I decided to record this episode not with a name to vent, or that's not the goal at all. It's more like with a name to share my story, share my lessons, and some insights, and hopefully you will need to use them. Hopefully you'll never have a story like this to tell, but if you do, just know that you're not alone. There's good and there's bad clients, unfortunately, and we just have to, be ready for when the time comes. So, as you understand, I'll be telling a story about a nightmare client. And where do I start? Well, first, I must say that I don't want to ramble too much. I won't be sharing names or business details. I actually have a page here with kind of like the talking points where what I want to come across, because I don't want to be sharing too much. It's a long story. I just want to tell you a little bit about it, and the main part is really the lessons learned. But this particular client started working with me in February. And at the time, there was the red flag. The first red flag was when the client paid the deposit but didn't sign the contract. So every client that works with me gets a contract, and the contract is to be signed by both of us. And it kind of like highlights the terms and conditions of our agreement. What are the deliverables, all of that good stuff that's in a contract. If you are a service or a provider, you know what it looks like. So she was a bit uncertain, and it took her a while, but then when I pushed back and I said, look, without a contract there's no work. I won't work with you, because this is just the way that I've been trading for since the beginning. So eventually the contract was signed, the work started, and from the very start there was something that was not within the agreement. So when clients start working with me, I send kind of like a welcome guide with some housekeeping information, and one of them is that the communication between us must be done by email, or if I'm using another system like Slack or Notion for communication to be used, that should be used. In this case, the communication channel was email, and email only. I don't think I am in an industry or in a job that I don't require to be 24/7 available, because I'm not curing any disease. I'm a designer, a brand designer, and I cannot remember anything that cannot wait to the next day. So second red flag was I started getting text messages on WhatsApp, and I kindly replied saying that the messages and all the communication should be on email as per the welcome guide instructions. That didn't work because the person in question kept texting me on my personal phone continuously throughout the project. So that was a bit annoying, because I would get texts by the end of the day, late at night, out of hours, weekends, etc. So that was not nice. And by that time, I think probably I bit more strict and finish the project due to, communication issues. But I didn't. I kept going, always highlighting that. And then another thing that was happening quite often was that the feedback, again, the turnaround on feedback was weeks. And when I say weeks, was not 1 week, it was sometimes 3 weeks. And if you have worked with a designer or if you have worked with me, you know how important it is that you dedicate time to the project. It's not just me working. I need you. I need your collaboration. I need your feedback in a timely manner so the project can advance and we can keep the ball rolling. If things get really delayed, it goes on top of another project, and then my time has to be split between multiple projects, and eventually I'm not in my best position to deliver the best work. So it's as simple as that. What happened is that this project was just branding design. There was no website involved, and it was supposed to end. So I think it was supposed to end in April. And by the time it was July and we were still unclear about the closure of the project. So everything was approved at first. There was barely any refinements or revisions. The client was happy with all the design. The only thing that she wasn't sure was just 2 tones of one color. And she said she was going to buy the Pantone books to decide on the colors on her own, but she didn't because they were expensive. So in July, I was actually on holidays and I volunteered out of my personal time to go and meet her with my Pantone books so we can both look at the colors and make a decision to close the project. Because if you are a designer or if you work with a designer, you know how important it is to have the right colors with the right codes so the brand guidelines can be prepared. And without that, I couldn't prepare the brand guidelines and close the project. So I offered and I volunteered my time to meet the clients. No response. I was on holidays in August. September, I reached out again. And just note that this was a project supposed to end at the end of April. In October, I reached out again and I said, at the moment, the project is going to be paused due to the lack of communication. If you want to pick up and restart the project, there's going to be a restart fee as per my contract. And that's as simple as that. Then the client came back to me via WhatsApp again. She was surprised with the restarting fee, but she agreed, but she didn't say anything. So it was only late October that she came to me on WhatsApp again, an evening, like late at night, a text saying that she wants all the work delivered by the next morning because she's going to finish the project herself. And at this point, I was really surprised, and I just told that it's really a shame that the project has to end like this. But yeah, I'll do that next week because, I don't work Fridays, and this was just before. It was Thursday night. I don't work Fridays. Monday was actually a bank holiday, so it would be most likely Tuesday. So that was the last time I actually wrote something about the project, because after that I received a huge amount of messages with so many insults, so many threats, with Google reviews, with lawyers, that I was untrustful, that I was not respectful, that business works both ways, that I'm not understanding. And it was horrible. Like, I would never forget that night. I was shaking so much. I didn't know what to do. I was completely mind blown. Like, where is this all coming from? And I got scared, obviously. Like, I've been working with so many amazing clients, and all of a sudden, this person appears out of nowhere, and she destroys all the good things. Like, yeah, it was just horrible. Like, it was absolutely horrible. So, I hope this is not a very long story. I'm trying to keep it short. There's more juicy details that I cannot share due to the situation. But anyways, yeah, I felt really shameful. I felt really sad and really hurt. Like, I took it really personally when, it was not personal. Like, there's obviously something wrong with that person, that it's kind of like she's projecting that in me. And that's what I want to believe. Because if you know me in real life, or even on online space, if you work with me, you know that that is very far from the truth. Like, I'm not untrustful, and I'm super understanding, and I try to accommodate clients' lives and stuff that get in the way as much as possible. But at the end of the day, this is a business. I'm running a business. Like, I'm paying bills, and this is my way of, this is my job. So people have to understand that. Anyway, now, what did I do after that? So I was a bit in a panic mode that night. I went straight away to my computer. Late hours, I've sent everything, and I wrote a very short email, very carefully written, just saying that here's the project files, and this marks the completion of the project. Please do not contact me again. And that was it. And then after that, I continued receiving a lot of abuse through WhatsApp, so much that I actually report her and block her everywhere. Like, I could not leave. Every time my phone beeped, I was like, oh my God, is it her? So yeah, I've blocked her. No communication. If she wants to communicate, it has to be through email. That's the only way she can reach me. So I would say that in terms of my lessons from this story, definitely, if you don't have a contract, you have to get one. Like, you have to reach out to a solicitor, or you have to have a contract, and you have to protect yourself against this type of clients. Also, you have to tune in your intuition and really listen to those red flags. If I had listened to my red flag at the beginning when she didn't want to sign the contract, I would have avoided all of this situation. And then just stay true to your process. Keep going. It's your business. It's your rules. And try as much as possible to remove the emotion out of it. It's not personal. It's most likely something wrong with the other person that it's being projected towards you. So you're just kind of like facing that projection. So I would say that after that, my advice and what I did was, and big shout out, by the way, to Network Ireland Dublin, my business friends there, because they were absolutely incredible. I didn't know who to reach out to, what to do. I've never been in a situation like that. And I've put a message on the WhatsApp group we have for the Network Ireland Dublin. And they came to the rescue. And when I say they came to the rescue, they private message me, they send me links, they send me contacts of their solicitors, like they went above and beyond, and I am forever grateful for them to support me like that. It was so important. And yeah, so I would say don't hide, share your story, tell people, tell your friends, tell your partner. You're going to need their support, because it's hard. It's really hard when people treat you like that, when people abuse you. And, you know, it's really hard to get caught on the feelings and the emotion of it all. So, yeah, rely on the people around you. And then other advice I would share is report to the authorities, block, don't engage, don't reply immediately. Just let the message sit, take a breather and reply, or don't even reply at all. If you're being abused, you have the right to, to block, report, and do nothing. Like, nobody can do that to you. It's just horrible. Say no and stick to your boundaries. Like, it's so important. If people are creeping in on your boundaries, take a step back and, just say no. Say no, this is not how my business works. This is not what we agreed. No. No, it's a full sentence. That's what people say, and that's so right. And yeah, like, I think overall, this was an horrible experience. Like, I would say 99%, it was an horrible experience. I hope I don't have any other experience like this in the near future or ever. But as I'm optimistic and a positive person, I like to focus on the lessons learned, and I like to focus that because this happened to me, I am now more aware and I am now more alert on the red flags and the people that I will let in my business and the people that I want to work with. Life can be hard enough, just as it is. If we could all be kinder and more understandable and more like just spread the love. Like, I don't want this to feel like it's a Hallmark card, but like, it still blows my mind what's going on with people to think that it's okay to treat people so badly. So yeah, just spread the kindness, but stick to your boundaries. Don't let people, step on you and treat you bad. So that's kind of like my main lesson. I hope this was not too heavy. And, if you want to talk about it privately, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you want to share your story and come on the podcast, reach out to me as well and let me know, and we'll have you on. So that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed, and yeah, take care and speak soon. Bye.